Welcome to the Breath of God YouTube channel. My name is Jeff Lewis, and this is a follow-up clip to episode 2, the Genesis of Drama. So in this brief clip, we're going to cover the providential determinations of God in Genesis chapters 10 and 11. So if you open your Bibles and you go to that section, you go to chapter 10 and you see mankind continues to grow from Noah and his three sons, and as humanity progresses, man goes back to his ways of rebellion, and you see that the sin that originally had been committed in the garden, which was in man's heart, was not dealt with. So even though when God deals with man, it comes back. And we see that through chapter 10. And then finally, when we get to 11, and it says, I'll read in verse 1 and 2, and I'll read 3 as well. Now the whole world had one language and a common speech. As people moved eastward, they found the plain in Shinar and settled there. So all of humanity settled in one place, and they said to each other, "Come, let us make bricks and bake them thoroughly." They used the bricks instead of stone and tar and mortar. And then they said, "Come, let us build ourselves a city with a tower that reaches to the heavens, so that we may make a name for ourselves. Otherwise, we will be scattered over the whole face of the earth." So God had actually commanded them to spread out and fill the earth and multiply. And instead of that, they gathered and settled in one place, put all their resources together, and said, "We're going to make a name for ourselves, and we're going to build a town. We're going to take it all the way to the heavens." This is in opposition to God. And God came down and he saw what they were doing, and he put an end to it. And very simply, he made multiple languages. This is what Genesis says. He made multiple languages like all at once. That's why the tower is called Babel, because they couldn't understand each other. So without a common language, the people couldn't communicate, and therefore they couldn't continue the work. So the work ceased, and they had to disperse. So God providentially overruled their rebellion against him and scattered them. So the great thing about this is then you have culture, language, the nations, the diversity that we see. God actually created that as a remedy to deal with mankind. And because he knew he was going to have to change man's nature, because when man fell back in the garden, it was going to require a fundamental change in the nature of man, because man changed as a result of that first sin. And that is Genesis chapter 10 and 11. Thank you for listening to the Breath of God. Bye.